So yeah, now we should be set. I've kind of got it centered-ish. Not perfect. I'm gonna move that up a tiny bit. There we go. That's pretty good. Yeah. So should be all set to record. I've never actually figured out how I want to open this thing. Now that we have an
Oh,
actual name for it, I have no idea how I want to open this.
oh
Uh,
shit. Gotta work on
the
an intro.
Yep. Uh, Hello everyone, and welcome to the Mega Monster Cast, a show about kaiju and kaiju-related materials. I am one of your hosts, Nick. With me is Josh, which I'm gesturing with the
Hello.
wrong hand.
Good enough. It's close
Yep,
enough,
yep,
please.
yep. Uh, Alex will be here for whatever our next movie review is, hopefully Biollante soon.
Oh my
But
god.
we're going to continue trucking along with this and maybe eventually convince him to watch like 10 episodes to catch up on it.
Oh my. I'm sure I can convince him to do it. I know I can.
I mean, this would be one of the easier ones to convince him to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
before we get started, now I can finally actually show this off instead of just talking about it.
Oh,
My
he's
little
so
Blazar.
beautiful.
Yeah, I got my little Blazar here, and I got my little Earth Gear on.
God damn, I love the Garon.
Yeah, he's even got a little blastery in his mouth.
God
Yep, I'm waiting for the piece that come in that actually has the beam coming out of it.
damn. I
But
mean,
yeah,
my statues are nothing like that.
at
This
some
one.
point we're gonna have to do like a big like just walk around and show off our shit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Walking in the front room to get the life size Yoda out.
all right. So we're talking about our first two-parter for Blazar today, I believe. I believe this is the first two-parter, right?
Yes.
I know there's a couple
And
other two-parters in this, but this is the first one, which honestly, this comes out of the gate really hot as a two-parter.
yeah, it does. It's probably some of the best episodes so far.
Oh yeah, easily. Um, so let's get off the bat with this episode focuses heavily on Gento's past. Well, the first episode does. Gento's past and his relationship with a kaiju researcher. And we find out that Gento was a student of this kaiju researcher before he joined up with the GGF.
Oh, what's his name?
Uh,
Kazunori.
yep, yep. And their big way of bonding as they grew to know each other as a student was they went fishing together, which is gonna play kind of a prominent role in these two episodes. Fishing is like a
It
big part of it.
really does. And as someone who's an avid fisherman himself, I can agree. It's a big bonding moment.
Yep.
I've got
So,
I've got several fish up on my wall.
yep, makes sense.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. So my
One of my statues just fell.
oh gosh, the
Don't worry,
world's
it's
coming
just
undone.
Sailor Jupiter.
But yeah.
It's broken now.
Oh shit, is it really broken?
No.
All right, good.
I would have been upset.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so the next thing I wrote on my notes is evil bracelet causes rainbows.
Okay, what
because
the hell was with the bracelet anyway?
I mean they get more into that in the second episode because it's not just one bracelet, it's a bunch of bracelets, but they don't really get into that until the second episode. Uh, but yeah, I love that it causes all these upside down rainbows to appear, and that's like this big symbol of doom approaching.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be like if it was upside down, then it was going to rain, but it was going to turn into like a disaster level storm.
Hmm. And this ties in with they mentioned early on that there's been like extreme heat recently, and it's caused a lot of damage to the crops.
Oh yes, I actually forgot about that.
Hmm.
That was um Teriyakis.
Yep,
Terry.
Teraki's. Yeah, he brings up that like because of the heat waves that have been occurring, like crops have been damaged. So
I think he specifically says that like his parents' tomato plants have just.
yep, which gets pulled together like at the very end of the second episode. Uh, but then we get the uh, because of the rainbows being upside down, they want to find out what's going on. So they have Gento go to talk with the professor, and right away they kind of have like a good banter going on. I liked that he offers him like some
The
sort of
crocodile
yep,
jerky.
yep, the crocodile jerky, and he claims that it's kaiju jerky.
He gets so offended. Even I would need a kaiju.
Yep, but like right away it sets up like that they have a really good balance like between them. Like they have that humor going on. They understand each other pretty well. And then we get into the professor revealing his backstory, and that when
Yeah,
he was a kid, there was this big drought in his village, and they did this like special ritual to bring the rain waters.
which
But
was sticking your hand in a lake.
yep, yep. But you had to make sure that it was somebody with a pure heart, because if you had evil in your heart, uh, the rains would instead of like helping the crops, it would become a torrential squall that would destroy the lands.
And that kid said, "Fuck it, we're gonna destroy the lands."
Yep. And then we get introduced to our kaiju, Niji Kagachi, which
Oh, Niji Kagachi.
uh so I know when we talked about this off camera yesterday, I mentioned that it kind of reminds me of like when its head armor is, front placing before it opens up. It reminds me a lot of the Showa kaiju King, because it has like kind of the same shape to its head, and I feel like its horns kind of vaguely remind me of King's like
Mm,
head stuff
yeah,
going on.
yeah, because I just pulled him up. I
Hmm.
can see it.
Yeah, like it's not 100% there, but like it gives me like a more modern day vibe for that. But anyway, so they decide they're going to do some research on how to get, well, I don't want to get too far ahead. So how do you feel about Niji Kagachi's actual, like, at least initial design? Like, we get sort of two designs out of it.
I loved it. I loved it even more once the faceplate actually retracts.
Hmm. Yeah, I will agree. I think that it has decent character to its design with the faceplates, like, in front, but when we get that first split of it and we actually see, like, what it looks like, it gives it a little more of its own individual character and personality because like I feel like it looks like Ella King with those facing forward. The second it opens up, I'm like, nope, it's its own thing now.
Yeah, because it kind of also just has like a blank like stare to it.
Hmm. Then you get kind of like that red turtle almost looking head.
Yeah, like turtle almost has like this massive beak,
Yep.
and with it also being rainbow colored, it just the symmetry for it just so much nicer.
Oh yeah. and like the little details they have on the inside of the plates where like it has all the coloration on the inside of them too when it folds backwards.
Almost what it always reminded me when he did that is Mothra's not rings, wings.
Yep, yep. I can definitely see that too. Which works really well considering like they're both kind of like primordial important primordial figures, if you would. Yeah, so then we get kind of a discussion about what um, the relationship between humans and kaijus is, and that humans have kind of caused a shift in an imbalance. That
Yeah, cause go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, that there's like supposed to be a natural balance between like in the past, kaiju, humans, all the other species, all just kind of lived as they would, but humans have gradually tried to take more and more and pushed the kaiju out or killed them, which has resulted in a huge imbalance in the ecosystem.
Yeah, that portion kind of reminds me of like the MonsterVerse,
Hmm.
where they reign supreme for so long, and now humans are literally making themselves into the biggest monster and the biggest threat now.
Yep. Which is a big part that the professor really pushes is that like humanity is ultimately like it caused this perversion of nature that we have upset the natural balance, which is something that more than one member of Scarred pushes back on, which I like that. I feel like it's a little oversimplified in their philosophical debate, but I mean, you can't have like an entire episode dedicated to just having that conversation. You got to kind of cut it down to like a few minutes at most.
Yeah, even Ginto himself is kind of pushes against that there.
Hmm. But then we get the actual reveal that well, Gento gets the reveal that the professor is the one who caused Niji Kagachi to appear using his evil bracelets with the weird snake mark that he has going up his arm. And then we get Energy Blast.
He is his own kaiju now.
Yep.
Just saying.
Oh, 100%.
I out of everything that did happen though, that was the most shocking part for me.
Hmm.
So I just didn't see him just shooting shit.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely because I think that's the first time we've had like an actual human, well, in this show at least, an actual human firing off like some sort of energy attack. Like obviously we have like the GGF and Scarred using like anti-kaiju weapons, but
Yeah.
this is the first time it's like some sort of like mystical relic that has empowered someone to be able to use their own energy blasts.
I, hmm.
But
Anyone
then,
in the other series do it though?
oh, there's a few other ones. Like I can think of a few other times where it's either that or like some weapons are specifically designed to like replicate kaiju attacks. Um, I remember actually like in Ultraman X, they analyze that Ultraman's like beam attack, and they're able to replicate its properties. So they have like guns that shoot little mini ultra beams.
Please tell me like the barrel is just two hands.
Ah, dude, if only, if only. But no, so then we get Earth Garon flying in to try to fight Niji Kakashi, and oh
yes,
gosh,
get kicked out of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think my exact, let me see. I'm looking at my notes right now. I think I actually call Earth Garon a jobber. Yep, yep. Yeah, I straight up say Niji Kagachi and Earthy fight. Earthy being a jobber is kind of disappointing, but it makes sense.
Speaking about Niji Gagachi, dude, I don't think we've mentioned it in our previous episodes, but the suit actor Kenji Kajikawa
Mhm.
does such a phenomenal job with all these.
Oh, God, yes. No, like the suit acting across the board is great. Like I know we've talked a lot about the way Blazar moves because like he's just such a very unique feeling Ultra, but like across the board the kaiju feel really well acted.
Because like I did some searching back for this episode because I just realized we never talked about him. He's been doing this since like 2009 for Ultraman movies and shows.
Yep.
I don't know. I just feel like suit actors don't get enough love.
Oh yeah, and like the when you're good at it, like you end up being a suit actor in like one property or another for forever just because like you get the physicality that they want correct. But yeah, so then Earthy gets Earthy's fighting. We get the split for the faceplate to reveal the like turtley like beaky monster head underneath. And I just wrote underneath that Earthy expressive eyes for the win. Because we get like Earthy's eyes like looking like he's dazed.
You mean when he gets slammed against the
Yep.
mountain?
Yep. Yeah, no. I love how well designed Earth Garon is in terms of like it's just so expressive. Like it looks so well made for a mech that is also an integral part of a team. Then after Earthy gets stunned, we get Blazar coming in to try to stop Niji Kagachi, which results in like a decent fight between the two of them. And the first time um, Blazar is like well matched, because I'd make the argument up until now like none of the kaiju are really capable of fighting Blazar on equal terms, but Niji
Yeah, and
Kagachi is.
was like some of them got a few good hits on them, but that was about it.
Hmm. Whereas this one, like full on, Blazar uses his I'm trying to remember. I think it's the Spiral Burade. His energy spear,
Yeah,
and Niji Kagachi uses like this rainbow beam, and they just cancel each other out.
like how you just said it's just a rainbow beam. His actual attack name is
Yep.
the rainbow beam.
Yep. That does not surprise me. I
I,
didn't look that up, but I'm not shocked by that.
I've got all his attacks
Yep.
right in front of me right now.
But then so they even like they equal out, but Niji Yagachi just fires another beam, and Blazar, instead of like trying to fight anymore, just reverts back to Gento because he knows
He's
that he
like,
can't
"Fuck
beat him.
this, I'm out."
Yep, this is the first time Blazar's like, nope, can't win this one. We're just gonna peace out. I don't want to die. I don't want you to die. We're done. And then Scarred goes to try to find Gento, and Gento is passed out in the woods. I think that's how the first episode of the two-parter ends, right?
Yeah, and again they're like, "Why is he here? Why was fucking Ultraman here?
Yep.
Why
Again,
aren't you in the ship again?"
headcanon, by this point, about half of them have to know that he's Ultraman Blazar, and they just haven't called him out on it.
They just have to play stupid. He's like, oh, I don't think Captain would like this.
Yep. Like I that is my headcanon is like at least a couple of them know that he's Blazar and they just can't acknowledge it because they're afraid of like what will happen if it's revealed that he is Blazar.
You know what? I've got a photo of Niji Gagachi like right in front of me.
Hmm.
When he has his like facial plates popped up, he's almost got like a old samurai armor set look.
I get that. I sort of agree with you, but I think you and I both know at this point that there's going to be a much more samurai character later on.
Yes, but like he's got that old like shogun.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it. Like he's got the armor and it kind of feels like heavy and ornamental almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I can totally see where you're getting on that one. Yeah, how do you feel about this first episode?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I love the second one way more, but this one just hit like every like emotional note that you would get out of a short series like this.
Yep.
As much as you could anyway.
See, I love that Blazar loses this fight.
Yeah,
Like,
the fact that he's not like totally omnipotent or
mhm. Like I feel like you have to have at least one fight, one or two fights for every like big like show like this where you ultimately have to lose it in order to add stakes and as we get in the next episode, get a power up.
yes. And I really like this one.
Oh yeah. So let's hit episode well 8, the second part of our two-parter. So we get like a little bit of a recap at the start, which was well enough done. Like I only wrote recap is decent. Like it does its job. It reminds you of what happened in the last episode, which I didn't really need because I had watched it the night before.
Yeah.
Then we get Gento, in, what I think is Gento and Blazar in there's like a space that ultras and their hosts can go to where they can communicate with each other.
That was
That's kind
that like galaxy looking.
yeah, it kind of looks different depending on the ultra, but like it's a thing that pops up in a lot of Ultraman series. Like the one I think of the most for that is Zet, because Zet plays around with that one a lot more than the rest do. But like there's a space, like kind of an extra dimensional space where ultras and their hosts can kind of like communicate with each other, which is interesting with Blazar because again, Blazar can't really talk.
Just grunts.
Yep.
But it feels like he still understands him a little bit though.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of this show too is like is Blazar and Gento coming to understand each other and like realizing each other's perspectives on things even though they can't communicate with each other traditionally. Like
Yeah, and that's really prominent in I want to say like 2 or 3 episodes
yeah,
coming
yeah.
up.
Oh, there's a few episodes where that starts to pop up. Um, but yeah, I think this is like a really good we get a little bit of that earlier than this, but like this is where you really start to see them like trying to figure out how to communicate with each other more. Then we get Gento in the hospital,
Oh, Gento.
and Gento's been out of it for a while. And when he comes to, they show him that all the typhoons that have been hitting the area are getting worse and combining into like a super typhoon.
The Mega Typhoon.
Yep. And because of that, they're trying to prep Earth Garon for another attack on Niji Kagachi with an upgrade that they'd introduced earlier on in the season. Those two,
Mod 2.
yeah, Mod 2, those two big cannons that they had in, what was it, a couple episodes ago?
Yep.
Yep.
I think it was like episode 5.
Yeah, that sounds right. So yeah, this is the introduction of the idea that they're going to be upgrading Earth Garon as the series goes on, which I think you've seen one other upgrade for him, I want to say.
I think I am like on the episode where he gets it, and
Mhm.
that's where I've stopped.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, he gets like, so I know I think I've mentioned this at least. I've mentioned it to you. I don't know if I've probably mentioned it on the cast, but the over the last like however many years, the Ultra franchise has gotten really big into like different forms or upgrades in one way or another for the Ultras, and Blazar doesn't do that a whole lot. Like it does it a little bit, but instead of just like putting a bunch of money towards giving like different armors or different suits for Blazar, they give Earth Garon a few more of those instead. So we get upgrades for Earth Garon instead of just upgrades for Blazar, which I think works better, at least for what
Y-
this show is trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it does make more sense that the giant mech gets the updates,
Although we'll see.
and yeah,
We'll see what Arc
yeah.
decides to do.
God damn it! No,
Uh, yep. Uh,
we're both pissed off about that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, there's ways they can do it right, and I'm gonna wait to see what it's like in live action before I give it like a full bashing. But like I've openly talked about, I think it's just a like Arc's armors are just a step down from X's armors, and X was 10 years ago. But anyway, getting back to this, we get like the setup that in order to summon Niji Kagachi, we have to whoever summons him has to have these 7 bracelets that they gather up. They have to dunk their arm in holy water, and that'll give them that serpent's mark that allows them to summon and sort of
It's souling some
yeah,
basically.
yeah, which is where the professor also gets that cool energy blast that he has. And they think that if they destroy the bracelets, Niji Kagachi will go away. That it won't be there wouldn't be anything tethering it to its current path, and it'll just disappear. So so they send in Teruaki because Teruaki believes that he understands the professor better than anyone because he's read all of his books, which
No, it
I,
makes no fucking
yep, yep,
sense.
yep. Josh and I had a conversation about this yesterday where we talked about how it's kind of this is what I thought, and I'm pretty sure you thought was like the weakest part of the two-parter, which was that Teruaki believes that he understands the professor better than Gento does, despite the fact that Gento knows him and has hung out with him many times.
He was his student. He
Yep.
studied under him.
They like genuinely just hung out a lot. It sounds like they went fishing together at least semi regularly from the sounds of it. So like they had like
He,
plenty of one-on-one time to talk with each other.
my headcanon is that he just straight up did not give a shit about the world ending. He just wanted to go meet his hero.
See, my way of justifying this was Gento wanted to be prepared to fight Niji Kagachi in case this didn't work out. So he didn't want to be too far away from Niji Kagachi, and that's why he let Teruaki go instead of him.
I'm just saying, if Gento would have went, he could have transformed into Ultraman. Just
Yep.
done.
But then we get the big conversation between him and Teruaki about how trying to wipe out the humans is ultimately causing damage to the ecosystem in a way that goes against what the professor claims he wants. That it's not just, hey, I'm going to wipe out the humans, you're also wiping out like all these other species potentially
Mm-hmm.
in your attempt to wipe out humanity. And then they destroy the bracelets and jack shit happens. No, I shouldn't say that. They
Niji Kagachi gets
yeah,
pissed.
yeah, the bracelets go to Niji Kagachi, it gets pissed, and it's gonna go on a full-on rampage now.
That actually has a name, by the way. Once they destroy that,
Hmm.
it's called the fail-safe empowerment.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, so then we get like a good fight between uh Niji Kagachi, Blazar, and the newly upgraded Earthy with Mod 2 on it. And when they're
Where he's
fight,
doing these sick ass like jumping and dodging.
yep. And we get this scene where I love like they're trying to use Earth Garon to like lock on to Niji Kagachi, and as they're fighting, like Blazar keeps moving either in front of the shot or moving Niji Kagachi's head, so like they can't lock onto it properly to fire on it. But eventually they manage to lock on. They shoot Niji Kagachi, and it releases this rainbow energy
Mm-hmm.
that Blazar sort of absorbs to create his new crystal for
His
this power.
pog.
Yep, yep. Where he gets his new rainbow slash ability, which I I love this because this is like a really good way to set up like a very traditional Ultraman attack actually, like these like energy buzzsaw blades that he does this with like have been in like so many different Ultraman series,
His
but this
goddamn Destructo disc.
yeah, and it adds importance to having this technique. Like instead of it just being something that, oh, and I turned into this form and I can just throw that and fire an ultra beam and do all these other things. Like, no, he's only really had one energy attack until now, the spiral burade. So like getting this new energy attack that has different utility is huge.
God.
Yep.
I'm just looking through like all the burades and just they just have the stupidest fucking names.
Oh yeah. Josh, don't look through it too much. You don't get to look at everything that he does.
I know. I'm gonna ruin it.
Yep, you're gonna spoil things that I want you to be excited for.
Okay, I have to go back to the fishing pole one. It's literally just lure, braid, fishing pole.
Yep.
God damn.
But then so we get the rainbow slash and he cuts Niji Kagachi in half. And that's the end of like the fight, and then we get kind of like the wind down for the episode.
Yeah, where everybody makes fun of Gento for telling them we need to call this the Rainbow Slash.
Yep.
And
And
then we get the bump, bump, bump moment.
yep,
The professor is out fishing because, you know what? Crime does pay, apparently. Because he got off scotch free.
yep.
And then we get the little roar.
We also get farming.
We do get farming. I forgot about the farming.
Yep. We do get farming, and not the bad kind of farming like I showed you last week.
That's not bad. That was pure bliss of what you
Mhm.
showed me.
Yep, yep. But yeah, so those were the two-parter episodes. Honestly, all around really nice. I like that it establishes that when Blazar gets some sort of like power up, we're going to get a two-parter to set up just how important it is, because
Yeah.
we get at least two more two-parters over the course of the series, and each one of them introduces like a very big important thing for Blazar.
Yeah, it's got me interested because like I'm up to episode 20.
Mhm.
Yeah, episode 20, and like that ending really makes me think Niji Kagachi is coming back with the professor hearing him the way he did. I feel like there's somehow still a connection. I could be 100% wrong though.
I'm not going to confirm nor deny any of that. I'm just going to say that suit is dope, and it would be dumb of them not to use it again at some point.
Yes.
That is one of the better designs in Blazar, and the fact that this is like its introduction, like you can tell money went into the suits.
Yeah, because some of the monster designs are dog shit
Yeah, yeah.
throughout the history.
Oh yeah, no, like there's some pretty low effort designs, but then
Some low.
sometimes you
I
get
was gonna
just Godzilla with a frill on him.
There are two different Godzilla with frills on them.
Yep,
There's also Anguirus gets reused, Rodan gets reused
yep,
twice.
yep.
Um, what is it? Shit, what's his name? Oh god, now I can't remember. Pretty sure Kong gets reused once.
I can think of that's a potent. You're probably right. I think I can think of what you're talking about, and hypothetically, that might show up in this show.
Not who the hell was the? I'm getting upset. What's his name? Manda. Oh god, I know Manda gets reused in like early Showa.
Mhm.
I think Bagon might.
Again,
Baragon, that was it. Baragon was the other one.
mhm.
His
Again,
suit gets used a lot.
Eiji Tsuburaya, he worked on those Godzilla movies, and then he just kind of walked off set with the suits to make his TV show.
It worked.
Oh yeah.
You know who I'm glad they didn't reuse though? Fucking Jet Jaguar.
Well, they didn't have to. They already had Ultraman, which not uncommon opinion. Jet Jaguar is just them trying to make an Ultraman.
Oh god, it was so fucking bad.
If anyone wants to fight me, get in the comments.
I God damn it. God damn, I hate Jet Jaguar so much.
Yep.
I hate it. I don't know why he's loved.
Uh, it's just because he's an Ultraman. He's just an Ultraman, and people like that. But yeah, this
The
is a
only time I've like really enjoyed Jet Jaguar was that fucking anime that Netflix put out. What was it? Godzilla Ultima or whatever.
mhm.
And he was just a shitty robot.
Yeah, that might be something to watch too. I feel like we could get Alex to watch that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But yeah, this has been our episodes on episode 8 and no, 7 and 8 of Ultraman Blazar.
And
Um,
the first episode of Visual.
yeah. So going forward, we're gonna try to do more video podcasts. This was like a good test run. We're gonna see how this goes. Um, my hope is when Arc comes out, we can try to hit Arc as it comes out each week because I feel like that's gonna need some commentary.
Yeah,
And
and just us being on the top of it, just feel like it's gonna help out a little bit.
yeah, yeah. Um, I think that'll probably get a dub. I assume it will. If it doesn't, we'll figure things out from there. But I mean, considering Blazar got a dub like from the get-go, I feel like the chances of Arc getting a dub are pretty good too.
Yeah, but sub is better.
Yep. And we're gonna force Alex to watch something with the subtitles on it.
I will force him to do it. I'll drive down there and do it myself.
I just hope we can get like I want him to be able to watch Zet because I feel like he'd really enjoy Zet and Zet has a good dub. But Zet, you need to watch like 2 or 3 other shows to get ready for Zet. You need to watch I mean you don't have to watch X, but X gives like setup for a couple of important episodes.
So then we have to watch X.
Orb has like some setup that's important, and Jeed shows up in like multiple episodes of Zet.
Hmm.
Yep, it's almost like they wanted to make sure that people watched the shows. But yeah,
So we can watch it now.
yeah, yeah. So this has been our episode of the Mega Monster Cast. We are gonna see what comes out this week. I don't even know which week this is gonna come out, but it'll come out. Until
It's gonna be
then,
great.
yep. Until then, I will see you around.
Bye bye.